Howdy, fellow football fans, and welcome back to another edition of the Far Out Football Podcast, brought to you by PTE Creative. As always, I am your host, Evan Davies. After that flubbed intro, let's get straight onto it. It is our Week 4 preview show. 3 weeks in the bag. We're kind of getting to see how the NFL is doing. Now, a new thing I'm trying every week, so I'm planning to play a little different activity every time. This week, we're going to play a game called Homecoming. So we're going to go back to Tier Maker for this show. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm thinking here. Let's get to it right now. So here we're going to Tier Maker, and you're going to see a little bit of the thought process that I have for this. On today's game that we're going to be playing, or the activity that we're being playing today, is we're thinking of Homecoming in the traditional sense of high school. This time of year, we're starting to really get into that heavy homecoming season. I'm sure if you walk around your town, you take a run, you just, driving around on a weekend, you are bound to see high school kids, sometimes even college kids, but a lot of high school kids all dressed up, all gussied up for their homecoming. And it's a magical time of high school for the vast majority of people. I broke down 5 ways that homecoming can go, and we're going to put it into an NFL context. We have 5 categories. We have hot, great, either way, the 3-week fling, and the going home sad. These are kind of the majority options from my experience and a lot of my friends' experiences at homecoming, where you can have the hot date. The hot date means everyone's going to be talking about you, and everyone's really going to be focusing on you, mostly for good reasons. But that doesn't always mean it's going to come out great afterward. But at the time, creme de la creme. Then you have the great date. The date you're always probably trying to get. The one that consistently no matter what, is going to pay off well in terms of just enjoyment, happiness, things of that nature. Get your mind out of the gutter, motherfuckers. After that, we have the either way date. This is the date that, homecoming can go and you're like, I think it could go well. Or you go, we'll see what happens. This could go really badly. The either way for these teams is the most interesting one, because what we're seeing right now, we're either seeing super positive or super negative, but there's not a lot of data to back up either, so we don't know exactly what we're going to get. The 3-week fling is the classic, where you go in, you have a great time, and you feel so infatuated with that person, and then your feelings really fade quickly, and then after 3 weeks, you're kind of like, peace, I'm moving on. Like, that's kind of high school at its finest. The 3-week fling, these are the teams that they show you so much positivity and a real spike, and then they probably let you down. And then finally, the going home sad. The date that you needed a date, it's not going to go well, but you just had to go with a date. And you end up going sad because nothing of the night went well. You barely had any enjoyment. Maybe there's a few good moments, but really, at the end of the night, you're not getting any real payoff of enjoyment during the event, before the event, after the event, and the weeks after the event. You're not going to have any fun. That's really what going home sad is. So we're going to put that all into a team context. So we're going to start with the hot category. There is no team hotter, especially after Monday night, than the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is playing impeccable quarterback right now. His play is phenomenal. Their defense is coming to life, and they're spreading the ball out. You can see the positivity that happens when you don't have a star receiver garnering all the attention, and you have to justify on your defense having to cover everybody. It's a huge benefit to Josh Allen right now. We'll see if that continues, but for right now, it's paying off so well. They're a super hot date to have. If they were your date to homecoming, you should be extremely excited, because that's the team that's going to make the most amount of noise. I think they definitely have the argument right now for playing the best in the NFL. I certainly think that's the case. They're the hot date at the dance. And we go to our great date. Our first great date is a team in which always is going to treat you well, and consistently you're going to be happy no matter what. That's what a great date really is. You go in, you have a great relationship with them beforehand, you have a great relationship after them. Whether they're your friend or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, it doesn't matter. Before and after, it's all around just a great time and great vibes all around. You got to start here with Kansas City. This is the most obvious one. You have a history of winning that's pouring into this year. So we can always say, well, they have a history of winning. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good this year. It means really well for Kansas City right now is Patrick Mahomes is playing mediocre Patrick Mahomes football. He's still making a few plays here and there where you go, God damn, Pat Mahomes. Some of those throws against Baltimore, some of those throws even against Atlanta, you kind of got to go, even though he was missing targets, still you go, it's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still playing really well. The defense for Kansas City is stepping up day in, day out. Eventually that damn may break. That's where their first loss is probably going to come. But you can see the attitude in Kansas City. They're not happy with themselves, and they're 3-0. They lead the AFC. There's nothing to question their greatness in this moment. Kansas City's a great day to have a homecoming dance. And our first either way category, this is one where they're showing you huge signs of positivity, but they don't really have any history here of what justifies it. I'm going to go Washington. Monday night, Jaden Daniels was a completely different quarterback than a lot of people predicted. Weeks 1 and 2 was far more, he was having success based on his ability to run the ball, get active in the scramble game. What I saw when I was really, really harping on the Monday night game is they put the ball in his hands to be a quarterback, and he delivered. Stepped in, took hits, big throws downfield, big pressure moments. It didn't matter. He stepped up. That's tremendous. He still gave up 33 points, though. That's a concern. You saw week 1 and bits of week 2. I don't know. But then you're also seeing in week 2 and especially week 3 that offense going, God damn, we may have a quarterback here in Washington. It's a great either way team. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the year. I'm excited to see what Jaden Daniels does. That'll be really cool. Then the 3-week fling. This one is a little bit interesting to think about because this is a team that's going to put you in a really positive place temporarily. And then you rethink it really shortly afterwards and kind of go, I'm going to leave this one behind. The most obvious one right now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, it's the Carolina Panthers. New quarterback energy, making you seem like you can really play against teams and you caught a team at the right moment. A team that we already had suspect issues about, but they played really well the week before, so we were overestimating them. Carolina is that team right now. That right now you're like, yes, oh my God, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good. A couple weeks from now, it's not going to be that. For their sake, I hope it's not. I have very, very close family friends that are Carolina Panthers fans that I love dearly and I wish them well. Okay? I want them to be happy, but the history that and the team that they put together does not show me they're going to be anything more than a 3-week fling. For their sake, I hope it's true. I hope that I am wrong for their sake. However, the team they put together, the history they have with that team, does not say otherwise. Finally, the going home sad. Let's start with a team that people just know was a spike game. I'm going the Denver Broncos. This is now a year plus of Sean Payton and the constant, they're going to get better, they're going to get better. Last week they did. Bo Nix looked pretty damn good. Here's the issue. Still don't have any offensive talent outside of Cortland Sutton and Javonte Williams. They still really have no defensive talent except for Patrick Surtain. They had a spike game. That's what they had. They need to put 3, 4, 5 weeks together of competitive, competent football before you're going to get me to say anything other than going home sad. This is a team that's going to bait you 1 week here, 1 week there, 1 week there, where you're going to say, no, see, look, they're playing so well. It just hasn't gone their way. You're going to go home sad if you're a Denver Bronco fan. It's just the truth of the matter. Going home sad category. Number 1 is going home with the Denver Broncos. But we're going back to the hot scale. Right now, there's not many more teams hotter than the New York Jets. We're looking at the AFC East a lot, and that's not usually a category we're going to say for the hot category. Reminder in this homecoming exercise before we get to the preview. Hot does not inherently mean, oh my god, everything's going to be amazing. Okay? Everyone's talking about you because theoretically it should be amazing. That doesn't mean it's always going to end well. I think the Jets are playing pretty damn good football and complementary football, and they're figuring it out. That's great for New York Jets fans. Aaron Rodgers is starting to come alive at the quarterback position. That's great. You can see this team getting hotter and hotter by the second in terms of their play when you're seeing a lot of interior pressures from their defense, a lot of quarterback hits, a lot of quarterback sacks, good play on their defensive backfield, plus a balanced attack on offense with a rushing game and a passing game. But don't be fooled. This doesn't mean all their issues are fixed. There's just that little hint that something could go wrong. A little bit of the hot crazy scale if we want to get a little How I Met Your Mother reference in there. There's the proximity to danger. I think they're going to avoid it, but you never know. But they're a hot team right now, and you're going to the dance with the Jets. People are going to be talking about it in mostly a positive way. I'm going to a great team. I was very, very hesitant on great because I really wanted to put Green Bay in here because their play is that. But I was like, no, don't be the homer. Go away from that because you don't know how it's going to pick up with Jordan Love right after an injury. And they're running into Minnesota this week, so it's going to be a little rough. A team that I cannot deny any longer is playing great football is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense was already playing outstanding football. Their offense continues to eke out a little bit better, but Justin Fields is coming alive as a passer. They're playing complementary football, and it's consistently being great. Can't argue it anymore. Now, if they go up against an offensive juggernaut, I'm going to pick the offensive juggernaut. But right now, Steelers fans, you have to be really happy. They're playing great football, and it's complementary football. It's a good, consistent date to go with. Smart for the home fans. Then we're going to go either way again. What was the hottest team for 2 weeks, and then week 3 they plummeted. The either way again is going to the New Orleans Saints. This is a team where you look at Derek Carr and the 50-yard bombs to Rashid Shaheed and the downfield passing attacks to Chris Olave and the big rushes from a 30-plus-year-old running back in Alvin Kamara, and you're thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, look at this team. Look at the stars. Okay? And they bullied 2 teams with horrible defenses. Then they made a really good team with a good defense, and they only put up 12 points. You can see the potential for really good stuff, and it could be a great night. You're a homecoming dance guy. But you're seeing the limitations they have against quality teams. That's textbook either way. New Orleans Saints are the either way category. We'll move on to our 3-week fling again. They're going to make you happy. They're going to disappoint you. And all your feelings are going to wash away again. It's textbook. It's textbook here, man. Las Vegas Raiders. Look at that spike week against Baltimore. Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, Gardner Minshew not making any mistakes. Defensive line comes to life. Everyone's playing really well. And then you sleepwalk through the Carolina Panther game. This is a team that's got so much talent that, yes, they're going to give you these spike weeks where you're going to be, oh my God, it was amazing. What a great Sunday. What a great Thursday. What a great Monday. Whatever the case may be. This is textbook. You go to the dance. You get super infatuated. Oh my God, I'm in love with this girl. Oh my God. And 3 weeks down the road, you kind of go, I'm feeling it anymore. That's the Las Vegas Raiders to a T. It's textbook right here. 3-week fling, man. Their defense just can't hold up, and their offense can't stay consistent. And their defense can't hold up because their offense can't stay consistent. Because their pass rush is phenomenal. So, where's the real issue coming from? They got to figure it out. And another going home sad candidate, man. I'm sorry to say this to you guys. It's the Miami Dolphins. Miami, prior to Tua's injury, still was not playing well. Okay, that's very, very important to state. There's still the question mark of Tua. Tua is eventually going to come back. Okay, Tua and the offense was not playing well for 2 weeks until he got injured. Then you saw what happened when they had Skylar Thompson in the lineup. And Skylar Thompson might not even go this week, so they might have to go to their third stringer. There's tons of talent. They're going to give you these spike games where they're going to score 30 points because their offense has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and David Achane, and they have Mike McDaniel calling plays for them, and all of a sudden they're going to spike against these teams and go, oh my God, see the Dolphins, I told you, the Dolphins, the Dolphins, the Dolphins. And consistently they're going to let you down because there's no toughness there to tough it out past those points. They can't play against quality teams. They can beat up on mediocre to bad teams. Big fish, small pond, that's going home sad. It has nothing to do with Tua. With Tua or without Tua, they are this team. Going home sad, Dolphins fans, I'm sorry, it's the truth. You're going to go home sad from that night. And we're going to do one more round of everybody. Our last hot team right now, again, there's danger to a hot team. It's Baltimore. Why does Baltimore all of a sudden jump into the hot category? Because for 3.5 quarters, they showed exactly what they're capable of, what everyone thought they could be, which is the best team in the league. That's what they're capable of being. Super attractive, super hot, in terms of an amalgamation of a homecoming date, right? Oh my God, look at everything they can do. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Lamar Jackson rushing the ball and giving the ball to Derrick Henry. They're just smashing down people's throat. Plus the complimentary passing game. Oh my God. Textbook. Then they fell asleep again. Kansas City. Oh, they get it down to they're literally this far away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs possibly. Opening night. After they unveil another Super Bowl banner there. And yet, they fall asleep at times. Consistency isn't there. So that hot, crazy scale, they're going to drive you crazy because they can get so hot at a moment. That's Baltimore right now. Everyone's going to be talking, mostly positive, like, oh shit, pulled in Baltimore, damn. Same time, there's some problems there and you got to be considerate of them. It could be great, it could be bad. Another consistently great team to talk about here, it's a super good pick, is the Detroit Lions. Week 2, their loss, they got outplayed by themselves, not by Tampa. They outgained them by over 200 yards. There was just unfortunate circumstances there. Jared Goff fell victim to the pressure. Things that need to be cleaned up in Detroit certainly are there. However, they just beat a good Arizona team. They outgained Tampa. They won their first game pretty handedly. Well, not pretty handedly, but they handled the Rams pretty well when they had full talent. Not the beleaguered Rams that we see today. Detroit is consistently playing really well. I have to put them in the great category for right now. I have some doubts, but you have doubts about all 3 teams in the great category, and yet they keep coming out, having wins, being successful, making their fan bases happy. That's textbook great football. That's textbook great homecoming date. And our final either way, I'm going to go to Minnesota here. So, why would I justify Minnesota in either way versus hot? Because so much of what Minnesota is doing right now is hot or great. You're starting to see the slightest little flaws that we usually see in Sam Darnold. Now, you can say, no, he played so well. He did. He did. Played really well, for the most part, against Houston. However, look at the backwards pass. Look at some of the passes he's having to outstretch towards Justin Jefferson. Look at some of his responses to pressure. There's still a little too much old Sam Darnold there to say immediately, no, they're going to be great. Or, God, what a hot team. They're a hot pick, obviously. They could go really either way right now. Plus, their defense is doing a lot of exotic stuff. They're playing really good pass rush football and playing really good in their secondary. But they're also taking advantage of circumstances. You can't always take advantage of circumstances. Not every tipped pass is going to get picked. Not every fumble is going to be recovered by your defense. Not every team is going to miss field goals. Not every team has a young quarterback that isn't used to exotic pressures. Okay? I still think they're playing really good football, and I commend them for that. And for the sake of Sam Darnold, I hope it continues. And I really don't have any ill will towards the Minnesota Vikings. But you can see there's a few little blemishes that you gotta go, I'm not sure about this in the long run. The short run, it's great. Long run, a little concerned. 3-week fling, the 3-week fling of 3 week things, the Dallas Cowboys. I guarantee you, Thursday night, they're going to come out like a house on fire. They're going to put 30-plus points on the board. They're going to look great. And everyone immediately, and there's still going to be blemishes, but for the most part, they're going to give you that false hope Dallas Cowboy game where everyone's going, see, Cowboys are fine. So much talent. There's no way they could lose. And after the game, you're going to see more and more Cowboy problems. You're going to see CeeDee Lamb still continue to be a little bitch on the sideline. And yes, I'm never going to forget that one because he was a little bitch against Baltimore. And it fell all on Dak's shoulders again, like it always does in Dallas. But their run defense is incapable of stopping anybody. Anybody. It is so obvious. They're going to put 30-plus points up, and you're going to go, oh my God, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then you're going to see the rush defense and go, fuck that, I'm out. 3-week fling for sure, Dallas Cowboys. You are the NFL's 3-week fling at all times. And our final going home sad category, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're in a funk that I don't think is going to be broken. Frankly, the fucking marks down in Jacksonville, I don't know what's going on. But you are playing football like your owner's son runs a wrestling company. By the seat of your pants, thinking you have all this great talent, and you do, and yet you can't utilize it properly. Trevor Lawrence, even when I have doubted Trevor Lawrence on the show, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is this bad. Okay? Even when I've doubted some of their offensive pieces, I still think there's a lot of quality there. Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne. There's still way too much talent there for me to say, no, there's no way they could put any points up. Defense, brutal. But you're consistently seeing they can't put things together. Controversial opinion, possibly a couple weeks ago. I don't think it's controversial now. I would not be shocked to see Jacksonville have a top 5 pick in this upcoming draft. I wouldn't be shocked at all. It just looks like desperation running amok there and people not knowing really what to do. I already said it. I'm out on Jacksonville until they can show me some consistency. I told you, unless there's a team that's just so talent poor against them that I have to pick them, I'm not going to pick them anymore. Straight up, you're going to go home sad if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. It's sad, but it's the truth. There it is. But that's our homecoming exercise that I thought you guys might enjoy. We're going to send you to a quick break, and right after that, we're going to head over to our Week 4 preview of each game. I hear you guys are really liking PT Creative's content. And you know what? You should, because it's pretty rad. You may even want to support the channel even more. Well, there's a way you can do it and reward yourself. And that's by going to our Etsy shop. Head on over to PTE Creative's Etsy shop and you can find all kinds of cool merch like you see on screen. You may be watching some of our Pokemon themed content and going, I'd love some merch there. You can do that. You can even get our custom Fakemon stickers right there, or stickers of existing Pokemon, t-shirts, or mystery packs. But you may be saying, I don't know if Pokemon's maybe my vibe. You know what? That's fine, because we have all kinds of fun, snarky millennial content and sports-related things over at the Etsy shop as well. You maybe got some big bench warmer energy that you just got to spread with the world. Or maybe you just need to tell people that you hope both teams are having fun as they're playing, because it's just all about vibes to you. And you hate to see it. You'd hate to see it if you didn't get your merch. You can go get that merch right here, right now. Head on over to Etsy. Go to etsy.com/shop/PTE Creative and go get yourself some awesome merch and go support a local content creator in this community we call the internet. Hope y'all see some great merch coming soon from Etsy. Go to PT Creative on Etsy and get yourself some great merch. No! And we're back, folks. Thank you so much for listening to that message. We have all 16 games to prepare for this week. Let's get straight onto it. Thursday night football. Dallas Cowboys are going to meet the Giants. East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife. Dallas is favored by 4.5 points here. Honestly, it might be a little rich. Here's what I will say for the Giants' favor. Daniel Jones played mistake-free football, fed Malik Neighbors, and their defense created pressures. What is Dallas weak to? A, they can't cover quality receivers because their best corner is a chump. Yes, I'm saying Trayvon Diggs is a chump. They have a chance with their pass rush, but they can't defend the run, which is going to balance that out a lot more and not allow that team to constantly just rush the quarterback with abandon. This is going to be a little bit more balanced game than we're used to seeing with the Dallas Giants game, in my opinion. I still think that Dallas is going to take it in a close one. I don't know if the Giants are just ready yet to take off a more talented team like that, because Dak Prescott's far more competent than Deshaun Watson. I'm going to go Dallas here in a close one. I would stay away from the points, though. By the way, our record after 3 weeks is 26-22 on the show. We need a good week to really get that buffer zone back up. I'm going to take Dallas in this one. From Thursday Night Football. Now, from Thursday Night Football, we're going to go into all the Sunday games. New Orleans at Atlanta this week. Atlanta somehow is favored 1.5. I don't understand that. To me, that's Vegas really going, I think we're too high on the Saints. We're done. I could see this going either way. I still think I would favor New Orleans here, though. But, no, I can see it. I really can, because I guess Atlanta's strength on defense is their back end. AJ Terrell, Jesse Simmons, Justin Simmons, and Jesse Bates, they've really held down the back half of that defense, and they played Kansas City pretty well. However, Kansas City, that looked far more like they were shooting themselves in the foot sometimes to me, with a lot of errant passes, like Mahomes already suggested he had. Toss-up game here. I'll go Atlanta, but it's, to me, going to come down to what can the New Orleans defense do. And New Orleans played Philly pretty damn well, so it's kind of which dam breaks first. I guess I'll go Atlanta and have a little faith in Kirk Cousins. I'm not confident about it either way, so if I were going to pick the Saints, I still feel bad about it. So I guess it's a toss-up game. I can see it after talking it through. So I'll go with the Atlanta Falcons. And we go Cincinnati, off another tough loss, going to Carolina. This is get-right week for a lot of teams. Dallas gets to go to the Giants, who they think they can feast on. Cincinnati gets to go to Carolina. Houston gets Jacksonville. Jets get Denver here to sort it up a little bit more. Philly gets Tampa, so they think they can do a little bit more. And San Francisco gets New England. Like, those are all games in which someone thinks, oh, we can dominate this team, right? First of that is Cincinnati at Carolina. Cincinnati's favored 5.5. I would take the points there. It brought me great joy as someone who finds the Bengals to be wildly overrated. When I was simultaneously watching the game and half paying attention to a movie with my wife. And pretty much I would do play, movie. Play, movie. And anytime there was a huddle or anything like that, I was like, okay, movie, and I'd be talking to my wife. And then anytime it was play, I'd be like, what's the play like, right? Cincinnati got embarrassed because of their defense. Would I be shocked if Cincinnati lost this game? No. But I still, like, anyone who's going to say, like, Andy Dalton revenge tour or getting everybody, it's not the case, man. I think they got the right opponent at the right time when everyone felt a good boost in confidence that they could play competitive football at NFL level now that they had Andy Dalton instead of Bryce Young. Right? But who on earth, tell me how Carolina's going to stop Cincinnati's passing attack? Let's say somehow J.C. Horn plays the game of his life and he just takes out Jamar Chase. Who's going to cover T. Higgins? And frankly, Yoshivash is the best part about that Bengals offense right now because he's coming to life and giving a reliable option to Joe Burrow when he can't hit all the downfield go routes that he likes to throw to Jamar Chase. I don't see any way in which Carolina wins this game. The the contrarian in me would love to see it, as I'm always rooting for chaos, but I'm going Cincinnati here. I would take the points too. I'd probably go like, yeah, I think they'll win by a touchdown. So going Cincinnati. Next game on the docket, we have the beleaguered Los Angeles Rams going to Chicago. Chicago is favored with 2.5 here. Caleb Williams did play better, but he still had some issues from what I saw. The beginning of that game was brutal, in my opinion. But towards the end, maybe it got a little bit better, but it still wasn't great. I looked at it a little bit more, and I was like, okay, maybe it was better than I thought. So it's just initial emotion. This is tough for me because I think Chicago's defense pulls it out. But San Francisco couldn't do that last week, and San Francisco's a way better team than Chicago, even with the injuries that they have. So it's kind of like, what the hell are you talking about here? I will pick Chicago in a close game. I'm hoping this is the Caleb Williams light bulb moment here just for the sake of football, because I want to see Caleb Williams succeed for the sake of the sport. I wouldn't be shocked if Matt Stafford pulls one out of his ass again, though. Sean McVay has a habit of doing that with offenses, too. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll pick... You might see a posting before this game that I reversed my pick if you check our socials, but I'll stick with Chicago for the sake of the show. Then we're going to go Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay is favored -3. To me, that's Vegas saying, we think Jordan Love's coming to play, and we favor Green Bay. I have more doubt about this game with Jordan Love coming back than I did in Indianapolis or Tennessee. Just because of the exotic blitzes and the things that Brian Flores is cooking up on defense for Minnesota. I think Green Bay's defense can take Minnesota's offense. Jair Alexander has already shown he's capable of taking Justin Jefferson out of games. And if you have a banged up Jordan Addison at best, he may not play. At best, he's banged up. So you really have to take care of Justin Jefferson, and you have Xavier McKinney over the top now. So that kind of a wash. Can they take care of Aaron Jones in that rushing game? Maybe. Probably. I think it's going to be a lot closer. It's not going to be the fireworks show everyone wants to see. My gut still tells me Green Bay, but it's a close one. I'm going to take Green Bay at the -3. I think it comes down to this. How well can the Green Bay line help Jordan Love with some of those different stunts and those rushes up front to really pick apart and use their offensive talent to open up those rush lanes again to play a balanced attack. Because I think you already saw it in Tennessee last week. What helped was the fact that Matt LaFleur trusted Malik Willis to pass downfield a little bit more and open up those rush lanes late. Need to have the same thing in Minnesota so they can't just tee off on you with blitzes, with exotic rushes. You can't do that, otherwise you will lose. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I think it's going to be a close one. I would say, seeing the rundown here, I'm kind of looking at my rundown. Maybe. No, because I don't think Justin Herbert's going to play, which is why Kansas City's favor that much. I think Minnesota-Green Bay is probably going to be game of the week, but we'll have to wait and see. And hopefully Jordan Love is going to be playing Sunday. And our final game before the quick break, Jacksonville at Houston. Houston is favored at 4.5. CJ Stroud shockingly rattled last week. However, he's playing possibly the worst defense in the league. And a team that can't get out of their own fucking way. Who on Jacksonville is going to stop Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Hank Dell? Who's going to stop their rushing attack? Nobody. Nobody is. So even before you get into the offensive issues of Jacksonville, no one's going to do that. Easy, I'm taking Houston here. The best hope I think Jacksonville has is if they can magically pull their heads out of their ass and play consistent long drives and at least get field goals and a touchdown or two. That at least should at least give them the confidence, even if they lose, to go, hey, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But until I see that, I told you I'm not picking Jacksonville because they're not consistent enough. So right there you have it. Houston minus 4.5. I'll stay away from the points, but I'd like to take this one too. We're going to get to the rest of the games. I'm going to take you to a quick break. I'll see you right after this message. Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. You trying to get your platform to grow? So am I. And I want to help you out. Let's help each other out. I'm trying a new thing on my podcast and all of my weekly content. I have content Monday through Saturday on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, all kinds of different platforms, and I want to help you grow as well. So now, if you like, comment, subscribe on this video, or follow wherever you may be, you may get a shout out in one of my next projects. That's what I'm going to try to do for you because you're small-time creators just like me, and I want us both to grow. So like, comment, subscribe for more, follow wherever you can. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and I'll try to help you out as well by giving you a shout out. Let's go do this together. Peace. And we're back, folks. Thank you for listening to that message once again. Check out our schedule as best you possibly can. Now, we're in Pittsburgh. We're going to Indy. So we're not in Pittsburgh. We're in Indy. Pittsburgh's favored 1.5 against Indianapolis here. I completely understand that one. Way too much erratic play on the Indianapolis side of the offensive side of the ball. It's rough looking at that team right now because you're seeing so many awesome moments, plays, but no consistent play. Coherency on their offensive side of the ball with Anthony Richardson. If you watch the Overreaction Monday podcast through the Rich Eisen show, which I'm a huge fan of, I highly suggest y'all do that. If you just love sports coverage, Chris Brockman, already the co-host on the show, already brought forth the idea of a couple weeks from now, we're looking at Joe Flacco time because we're not seeing the consistency from Anthony Richardson. I don't think we're there yet, but I could see why someone who's not a believer would say that. Because you're seeing 60-yard bomb, and then missed pass, and ball in the dirt, and overthrow, and just erratic play on Anthony Richardson's part. He needs to settle down. And I don't think Pittsburgh is the team to do it against. Their only hope is disrupt the shaky at best passing attack for Pittsburgh. That's their only hope to win. I don't think they're going to achieve that this week. I'm going to go Pittsburgh and stay away from that point spread because that point spread is tailor-made for you to lose as a gambler. Stay away from the point spread. Now, from Indianapolis, we're going to go back to East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Denver Broncos are going up against the New York Jets. We're getting the Peyton Bowl 2, if you will, or not necessarily the Peyton Bowl, the Nathaniel Hackett Bowl 2 here. The Jets are favored by 7.5. That's a little rich, just because they haven't shown the consistency over the entire season to get that, especially after Denver's performance last week on defense. However, there's no doubt in my mind the Jets are going to win this game. Bo Nix took advantage of the fact that Tampa's defense was not putting continual pressure on him, and he calmed down and made some really good plays in those moments. How on earth is he going to do when he has to pass against Sauce Gardner and company and doesn't have Cortland Sutton because Sauce Gardner's just going to go, nope, can't pass to him. They don't have any rushing attack that's going to help, and even if they did, it's going up against Quinton Williams and the rest of that defensive line. The defense alone of the Jets could win this game. There's a part of me that thinks it could be a repeat of last year where, hell, Zach Wilson could look good again. It's fun to see Zach Wilson again on the sidelines. I don't want this to happen, but there's some weird poetry that somehow Zach Wilson gets in this game. And then we see total chaos, with Zach Wilson against his former team and Nathaniel Hackett coaching against his former team. It's a whole mess and a half. I'm staying away from the points, but I'm going to take the Jets here. I think that's probably one of your safest bets of the week. And then we're going to go down to Tampa, where Philly is visiting Tampa Bay. This is a strange one because Philly didn't play great last week. They're favored by 2.5. Right? Yet, Tampa played really poorly last week, and their biggest issue was protecting Baker Mayfield. Denver's nowhere near as good of a pass rush as Philly is. I keep doing this where I don't think Philly's that great of a team, but they keep getting favorable matchups. You gotta hope, as a Tampa Bay fan, Baker Mayfield wakes up feeling dangerous and can take advantage of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Just don't know if they have the dogs to really help out. You gotta hope Antoine Winfield Jr. kind of shuts down a lot of that passing attack, and then Vita Vea can take a little bit more off of the running attack from Saquon Barkley. I will go Philly here. It does not please me, as everyone knows. I fucking hate the Eagles, but good football is good football, and I think they're going to take care of business here down in Tampa. Now to another game here. We're going to stay in division with Washington's going to Arizona. We're going to see what young, athletic quarterback can beat the other. Kyler had a really bad game. Arizona's favored by 5. To me, that says Vegas has no faith in Washington to stay at a consistent level, right? So, in interest of doing that, they need to keep pressing the downfield passing attack and allow Jaden Daniels to really surgically and methodically place the ball downfield. Can they do that? I'm not sure, right? So, this is just a weird one because Washington's defense doesn't say they can stop the Cardinals, but yet the Cardinals may just stop themselves because Kyler's erratic play. It's a really weird game. I'll pick Arizona. I have faith in Kyler Murray and company. I would stay away from the point spread, though. Sure as hell not taking that 5 points. That's weird. This, to me, comes down to what quarterback is for real right now. Is it Jaden Daniels or is it Kyler Murray? You take your pick. I'm going to go with the experience of Kyler Murray, and he got that bad game out of the way. I'm not going to go with Jaden Daniels at the moment, although he's really exciting me. And to our final game of this segment before our break, or our last break of the show, I should say, New England goes to San Francisco. San Francisco is favored for the largest point spread at 10.5 this week. Whew. This says get right game to me like none other. San Francisco's 1-2. They're injured. There's that whole battle warrior, too long in the tooth kind of thing. Deebo Samuel's banged up, probably not going to play. Christian McCaffrey's on IR, he's certainly not going to play. But their defensive line is healthy. There's no way anybody on that Patriots line is going to stop that San Francisco line long enough to stay competitive in this game. If they do, that's the surest sign that San Francisco's dominance is over, at least temporarily, until their team gets right. But I think enough with just Juwan Jennings and Greg Kittle, or George Kittle. My God, Greg Kittle. What am I talking about? George Kittle, that they will be easily taking care of Patriots defense here. Patriots defense is better than people thought, myself especially included. However, San Francisco's going to win this game. I'm staying away from the point spread because of their beleaguered state. I don't know if they're going to put up over 10 plus points for the win, but I'm still taking San Francisco. That's an easy game to pick here. We're going to send you our last segment here. We'll catch you after the break for our final 5 games. Stay tuned. Hey friends, I know you're enjoying this show, but we want to prime you for a new show. Go check out the weekly schedule over at PT Creative and find your new favorite podcast or show to watch. Monday and Thursday, you get the Far Out Football podcast with news, analysis, and notes of the NFL season, plus great projects during the off-season like draft analysis and what-if questions like what if the NFL expanded. Tuesday, go to the ONETA Show for absurd takes and fun all around. The topics in entertainment, gaming, movies, television, you name it, ONETA Show is going to talk about it. Wednesday, you can go check out the Pokemon Bliss Oblivion Project, in which new Pokemon are being designed every single week as we create the Halzari Fakemon region. Friday, it's kind of a fun, laid-back day over at PT Creative. You can go open some brand new Pokemon card packs, or get some new specials and seasonal content coming your way on a Friday. And finish your week out with the Wisco Movie Watchers podcast on Saturdays. Get great movie recommendations, learn some movie history, and just have a grand old time listening to some dialogue. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun over on Saturdays, just like it is every single day over at PTE Creative. Go check out new podcasts, new content, new shows every single Monday through Saturday over at PTE Creative. Now enjoy the rest of your show. And we're back, folks. Again, thank you for listening to those messages, seeing those messages, and treat yourself to some stuff. Now, our final 5 games of the week. Cleveland is going to Las Vegas. Cleveland is favored at 1.5. I don't get that at all. I do not understand that at all. This, to me, should be a 1-point game, and I would probably pick Las Vegas. Everyone's going to really doubt Las Vegas because they lost to Carolina. I think Carolina is more competitive and far more NFL caliber than Andy Dalton as their quarterback right now. It's what I thought they could be with Bryce Young. That's what I thought we saw last week. However, Cleveland has no consistency offensively whatsoever. To me, this screams, 18-15, 20-17, not super high scoring game. I'm going to go with Vegas here. I don't think Vegas is super impressive on their offensive line, but I think they have enough to get the ball out quickly and allow their playmakers to make plays. Outside in Cleveland, you've got to stop Jerome Ford and you have to stop Amari Cooper. And I think you can do that against a beleaguered offensive line in Cleveland that can't hold up right now because they're missing their tackles. Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, those are the guys that are just going to go fly in and take someone's head off that way. It's obvious here. I'm going Vegas here. I don't understand that. This is upset by Vegas standards. It's not an upset in my mind. I'm picking Las Vegas. Then to another huge point spread that I'm going to do a little research for right now. Kansas City is favored by 8.5 going to the Chargers. To me, that's Vegas saying, hey, Justin Herbert's not going to play. Now, I haven't seen anything saying that he isn't going to play. He's out of the walking boot and he's progressing as of an hour ago of this recording, which is late on Wednesday. Now, high ankle sprain, I think they'll play it safe. They're already 2-1, and they can fall to 2-2 and not really expect to beat the Chiefs here. I think they'll play it safe, which is why that 8.5 point spread is there. This feels like people thinking, oh, old Chargers. This isn't the old Chargers team. They've already shown that the last 3 weeks. They were playing really competitive football against Pittsburgh until Justin Herbert left with the high ankle sprain re-aggravation. They got their passing attack far more involved with even Quentin Johnston of all fucking players right now. There's more there. And J.K. Dobbins has really shown to be a good rushing attack. I don't like the point spread from a Kansas City's just going to blow them out. I like the point spread because I don't think the Chargers can put up that many points without Justin Herbert because there's not as much of a threat passing. And then you can kind of load the box, which is Kansas City right now is doing really well against the run. So I get the point spread. I'd still stay away from it. I'm picking Kansas City. In a best case scenario, especially for the NFL in general, this is a Kansas City get right game where you see Pat really turn it on. He's been misfiring last week and a half here, and it hasn't been great. You want to see Patrick Mahomes at his finest. I think the secondary is something he can really exploit in Los Angeles, so I'm going to go Kansas City. I don't like the point spread, though. I'd stay away from it. And our final game of Sunday is Buffalo at Baltimore. Baltimore is favored at 2.5. That is wrong. Nothing about Baltimore this year says they're going to beat Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. Biggest thing here is this. The passing defense for Baltimore has been erratic and weird and not good, frankly. Even Marlon Humphrey looks out of place, and Kyle Hamilton's not as much of a factor. They're not on the same page. They need to get on the same page. They're not going to rush over Buffalo like they did Dallas, where you're going to exhaust that Buffalo team so much that you're going to keep the Buffalo offense off the field for long stretches of time where they can't get cohesive in the game. Okay? That's not going to happen. Hopefully, for Baltimore's sake, they can rush, they can keep some consistent play, and their defense shows up to play, and this is a close game. But I do not understand the 2.5 points. Buffalo is playing the best in the league right now. Josh Allen's playing incredibly well. Can't doubt that. Buffalo, easy pick for me here. I'm going to take the upset. In our final 2 games of the week, we have another Monday night doubleheader. We got a shockingly good Monday night doubleheader, which usually doesn't happen this past couple days. So, Tennessee favored by 1 going to Miami. Tennessee is only favored because Miami's on their 3rd-string quarterback or their bad 2nd-string quarterback. Who the fuck knows? That's what this game is. Who the fuck knows? I'm going to pick neither. No. The -1 is obvious because Miami's too dangerous. If a quarterback can just launch it far enough once or twice to Tyreek Hill, Miami could win the game. I'll pick Tennessee because Tennessee was showing more signs of life against Green Bay, and Will Levis wasn't playing as stupid as he did the first 2 weeks. So maybe there's some more improvement. This is truly who the fuck knows because Miami has way more talent, but who's going to get them the ball? Just stay away. If you're a bettor, stay the fuck away from this game because there's no way to really comprehend it. Now, our final game here, Seattle is going to play Detroit on Monday Night Football. Detroit's favored by 4. I think this is the end of the winning streak for Seattle. I'm going to pick Detroit in this game. It's mostly because we're not seeing full cohesion offensively or defensively for Seattle. They have these moments where they just kind of fall apart a little bit, but for 66 to 75% of the game, they play really well. Geno's playing super well. I'd love to see a shootout here. That'd be really fun and could really showcase a little bit more for Seattle. But I got to go Detroit here because I don't think there's going to be enough pressure put on Jared Goff to really fuck up Detroit that much. And that's why I'm going to go Detroit in this game. I would stay away from the points because Seattle could shock you with some speed downfield with DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba. But we'll have to wait and see. But that could be another fun Monday night game. Not fun to doubleheader, but fun Monday night game nonetheless. But that is our entire preview for Week 4. Thank you guys so much for watching and for listening. Stay in touch on our socials. Check out a lot of new content coming your way. As always, I'm your host, Evan Davies. Thank you so much. Peace, love, and hugs to you all. Go watch some great football. Bye!